So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Chill Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and tonight I'm joined by the band Nehoda, and they're a band from Nashville, Tennessee, and they play. It's a style. It's like grunge with blues to me. Like when I listen to this EP, no, sorry, this album, because it's 31 minutes. So at 31 minutes is an album. So it's that type of style. Yeah, you guys, sometimes you're confused now because there's some albums, they're 20 minutes and they say this an album. And then there's one that says 22, but it's an EP. So sometimes I get confused of which is an EP or which is an album. So first of all, how are you guys tonight?
We're all doing well. We just got done with rehearsal, so we're having fun. Yeah.
Nice. So for people that the band started, Patrick, as it was like your solo project, but then it formed into a band. Tell me, how did it, like, when did it went from a solo project to a full band?
Well, I moved to Nashville from Seattle in 2017, and I played a little bit when I first got here by myself, and just was really trying to get used to being in the area and find work and find friends and meet the right people. And then I think it was like 2018. Yeah, about 2018 when I met Grayson, and he offered to play. He said, "Let's get together and jam sometime." And it's kind of a funny long story, but basically what ended up happening was he wanted to play with us. We had somebody else scheduled to play with us that night on bass, and then he didn't show up to the gig, but Grayson was at the gig in the audience. And after we got done, he's like, "Let's get together and jam." And I was like, "Well, we're supposed to play with this guy." And he like looked at me and looked around. He was like, "Where's this guy?" And I was like, "You know what? You're right. Let's hang out." And then, I mean, I don't know why I waited as long as I did. He's become like one of my best friends since moving here, and also just, partner in crime and bandmate. So, it's all kind of been history from there for us, but it's been fun. And then that was the beginning of the band Nehoda at that point. Up until then, it was just kind of solo. And when I recorded in the past, I had friends that filled in and played instruments, but it wasn't really a band. I had one friend, Nick Parrish, who did play with us through the years, and he's going to be playing with us in California at a show as well. So he's still kind of in and out of our life, my life as a musician friend too. So
Nice.
that's kind of
So makes the sense the sound. You were from Seattle and you went to Tennessee, so that blues with the grunge sound. So obviously you all know you're Patrick. The other people in the band, tell your name and you know what you do in the band.
Greg, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'm Grayson. I play bass. That's it. That's pretty much. Yeah,
I'm Grayson and I play bass. Well, you kept it very short and simple.
No, he's good at that. He's good at that.
Yeah. I'm Chip, and I play drums and some keys. So all the organ.
Nice.
Yeah, he did all the organ work on the album that you listened to.
Yeah, and the album's coming out September 27th, so one day before my birthday. So yeah, I'll remember that because it's coming one day before my birthday. So right now you have two singles out. You have the first single was Bells, and Bells really that grungy guitar comes at the beginning, and you get that sound that I like. I love the 90s, so I'm assuming you guys love the 90s as well.
I mean, I'm a product of it. I was born in 1981, so the 90s were pretty influential on me when it came to my music tastes and what inspired me to play music. So
yeah, same here. I mean, Soundgarden is my favorite band. It has been since I was 13. So
I was born in the 90s, so
yeah, he gives the youth in the band.
Yeah, he's the youngin'.
And luckily he feels the groove to all this stuff. Like I talked about Grayson getting into the band, but like Chip's been playing with us for 2 years, almost to the day. And the first time he got on stage with us was at the Queens of the Stone Age tribute show. And he just stepped in. We needed somebody to help out on a short notice. He learned the songs, came in, played, and then that turned into him joining the band. And we've been kind of just all, like running with it ever since. So this man is this man's he's a musician. He truly is. Like bass, he's being humble. I'm not gonna be humble for it. Bass, organ, drums, like he can sing, he can write, like this man's a musician, and we're all lucky to be friends with him and have him in the band with us.
So yeah, you know, the record has a lot of like different sounds and a lot of blues also. I thought, you know, in the music, and you have like longer tracks, shorter tracks. So you have that single, but you put out a single this week. That is the second song on the record, which is called Hot-Blooded Woman. And on that one, you have someone extra, Henry Cruz.
That's correct.
He does more guitar on the track, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's him on the slide.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's got the slide and it's got that like that more bluesy feel to the song. So your last name is Nehoda, which also means I was reading a mixed mistake and accident in Czech Republic or Russian. But it's a cool last name. So you like if you have a cool last name, it makes sense to put it in the band.
He didn't want to. We had to convince him that that was a cool name for a band. It was not his. We pushed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're like, yeah, if your last name is like Jones or something, I'm like the Jones.
Yeah.
it wouldn't make sense, but still like it's the Hoda's cool. You know, like when I think of like Van Halen, you know, that they have like the best last name to put in a band. But it's a good thing that it's, you know, because like or Bon Jovi, where you put that name, but at least you know, like you guys sound like you're all contributing to this band, so that's a good thing. So Patrick, like when they got involved more, because this album, you put like, is it a self-titled because it's like a newer version of the band because now you have more people in it?
Yeah, actually, that was kind of the idea behind it. You know, this is the third album that we recorded in the same studio, but we also knew that it was kind of the closing of a trilogy because we wanted to move on to new studios, try some new stuff moving forward. So the idea of it was kind of reintroducing ourselves because Chip did come into the band after we had somebody else in the band. We had our friend Jeremy Gill was playing drums for like 3 years prior to that. And when Chip came into the band, we had the Dissolution EP, which was the last one that was released in 2023, I'm sorry, last year. And those songs were already done. So when Chip came in, he recorded them with us, but he was recording something that was, you know, we brought the songs to him. They were like, here's how we've been playing them. Here's what we're doing. This was the first time that the three of us got to write songs together and like put them together and take the time to build them, take some time in the studio to do it as well. And I kind of felt like it was a really good chance to reintroduce us because it's the first time I've been able to write a record with my bandmates and it's not a solo record. I mean, it's just not like I can play some of these songs by myself, but like it really takes all three of us to make them sound the way they do, you know? So I thought that was the right choice on the title.
Yeah, and the album, you know, like it sounds, you know, it has a perfect length at 31 minutes, and you get like different flavors from the band. The lyrics for like, Patrick, do you work on the lyrics or was it a group effort this time around with the lyrics?
The lyrics I still write. I mean, we'll work on things together to a degree, you know, like if I'm, you know, in the studio, there were times where people are like, hey, maybe phrase it this way instead. But I mean, they're pretty much written by me at home and then I bring them to the band. But we come up with the song, like our formula, well, not formula, but kind of the way it's been happening lately is that we'll play and write the songs and I don't get a melody idea or lyric idea until we get to the point where the song can basically stand on its own without it. So it's been interesting to do that. I go home, I'll live with them for a while, and some days I'm driving and the first line of the song comes to me while I'm driving, listening to the instrumental version, you know, and then that's kind of how I'll just start writing when it comes to me, you know.
Also, make no mistake about it, this man is a great songwriter. It doesn't take him that
Yes,
long
sir.
to write a song, so we trust him to write his songs. So,
I appreciate that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's important where you can write a song, you know, not take that long and have it be good. So when you were picking the single, was Bells always like you need to put it's it opens the album. Was it always a conscious choice to have that because it's a clear representation, of the band you have? Because that one is like one of the more like grungier tracks on the record.
Yeah. It, to me, kind of felt the most like what we had done prior as well. I mean, for me, as the album progresses, I feel like it kind of turns more and more into who we're turning into as a band. Bells was one of the first tracks that we kind of put together, and it just felt like the right one to lead with, to me, just because it was, a little more up tempo, a little more energy, has a vibe to it. It just felt like a strong one to lead with. And then Hot Blooded Woman, to me, was the one that I was always waiting to release. I love that song. I love them both. It's not that I don't like one or the other, but I just felt like it was a good one to hopefully get people's attention to listen to the rest of them,
Yeah. So, and I don't know, the last like 5 to 7 years, there's been a really like a resurgence of like this type of rock and grunge. There's a lot of bands that I've been following that, influenced by the 90s. So, how do you feel because a lot of things are like coming back. Do you think it's nostalgia or do you think people are clamoring for real fucking music?
Yeah, I mean that for sure. I think that people who want to listen to good, rock music, hard rock or whatever, are always kind of gonna go back and listen to stuff from, you think about it in the early 90s, a lot of those bands were influenced by bands from 20 years before them, in like the 70s. So yeah, I mean, I think it just, kind of comes back around with each new generation. They look back and they hear this stuff and they're like, wow, I really wish we had stuff that sounded like this now. And then they go out and do it themselves.
I think.
Yeah, and that is true. And there's also a lot of like 90s band like making comebacks.
They gotta pay the bills, man.
they gotta pay. Like I saw the Smashing Pumpkins a few years ago, which was great. One of my favorite bands. And today, as we're filming this, I woke up to the news that Oasis reunited. So that was good for me.
For at least one show.
For at least one show.
14 shows. No, this is
we'll see.
We'll see.
This is what happens. Like, this is my theory. They'll play. The first show will be great. It will be awesome. And on the second show, Liam and Noel will bitch and start fighting, and they will be canceled.
It'll be over. It'll be over. You'll get the one show.
If you're buying tickets,
that'll be like, yeah. If I was over there, I would buy for the first show. Like, buy the first show. Maybe they can pull off a first show, and it would be awesome to see them. But there's like so many bands like playing this style, and I think bringing new things into the table, because you bring like that bluesiness to the music, and I'm guessing it's because of like Chip and Grace, you brought them in and they're bringing like new flavors into the sound. So yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
We're getting influenced by the music that we're seeing a lot too. I mean, like I bartend at a venue in Franklin, Tennessee. We have live music 7 nights a week, and that's how I met Henry. That's how I met Chip. There's like a community of people there that are real tight, and there's a lot of really good musicians. Henry Cruz has his own band, the Henry Cruz Band. They're going to be releasing some stuff soon, and I definitely recommend checking it out. He's bluesy, but the reason why I bring this up is because I feel like the youth today, to answer your question you asked a minute ago, is they want, like, it's different than it used to be. There's so many things that we can complain about with technology, but one thing that technology does allow the younger generation of artists and musicians is like they have access to everything. And the kids don't really seem to care so much about, oh, this hasn't been cool for 30 years yet, so it's not cool to like it. If they like it, they like it, and they absorb it, and they listen to it, and they learn how to play it, and they learn how to sing it, and they learn how to like follow it. And I think that it's causing the kids to go back to music that, you know, we have grown away from over the years, and then they're coming up with new stuff that sounds like it because it is influenced by it, you know. And like, I don't think it's nostalgia. I think to a degree there's plenty of that going on. I mean, there's plenty of bands out there that are on the nostalgia train, super talented bands that sound like other super talented big famous bands, you know, and they sell out stadiums and shit. But I do believe that there is a, you know, there's a majority, or maybe not even a majority, but there's a good percentage of people that do want real fucking music. They want genuine stuff. They want to feel connected to the music or the lyrics or the band or other people at the show, whatever it is, you know, like they just want that connection. Feel like that's important. You know, the pandemic took it away from us. Like that era took it away from us. And like, we have the ability to like really support each other and like, I don't know, bring it all back. Like, I hope it happens. It's hard these days because things are so expensive, but you know, that's life in the modern day.
Yeah, no, I agree, but yeah, at least for me, I think people are clamoring for like real music. You don't need your laptop to play and stuff. Yeah, I just that laptop, when someone says like we can't play because of a laptop, I'm like, that's like the shittiest excuse not to play. Come on, like, yeah. So yeah, I like to, when I interview like band and I have all the band members, I like to ask them, you know, like music that inspired them growing up. So let's start with Chip. Chip, what music you did you like got you into music?
I think back on that one. It was a guy. He's a producer now, but it's a guy named Jordan Sanderson. He had this drum set in his house, and I always wanted to play. I don't know why, but my granddad finally bought me some drums when I was 3. I kind of started then, but I started playing in church. I would listen to church music all the time. I'm influenced by, you know, gospel chopping and all that kind of stuff. Later on in life, it's more like funk, R&B, you know, like soul. And then I had a time where I was going through rock. I was going through like Latin music. I was going through other kind of things. I just kind of like it all. They all make the song 10 times better, you know. And you can add it too. So I try to just soak it all in as my inspiration.
Yeah, no, that's good to listen to different genres, and you bring that to the sound of Nehoda. So obviously Patrick you grew up in Seattle. I'm kind of like jealous because I would have loved to be in Seattle in the 90s to watch all those bands play.
Well, I grew up in Northern California. I grew up in Santa
Oh,
Rosa,
okay.
Sacramento. I moved to Tennessee from Seattle. I was there for about 3 years in 2013 to 2016, almost 2017.
Okay.
But
A
still,
different time, yeah. Yeah.
growing up on the West Coast, I mean, like, it was just cool stuff all the time. I mean, that era, I didn't get to see a lot of it because I was born in '81. So like when Nevermind came out, I was 10 years old, you know. So my first
Yeah.
like rock show though was the Smashing Pumpkins with Garbage on the Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness tour in like 1994. And
That's
like,
a great tour. Yeah.
but that kind of stuff always that was a fantastic show, and it rolled around Sacramento all the time. But like growing up, my dad didn't listen to rock and roll. I had the dad that listened to like Johnny Cash and Marty Robbins and Willie Nelson, like the songwriters. And it's interesting because that's always what truly inspired me at the beginning was these songwriters, like the idea of being able to tell a story and write a song that like moves people and takes people on a journey. You know, so that was kind of probably my first big influence. And then when I saw all the guys doing it in the 90s, but with fuzz and distortion and big bang and drums, I was hooked. That was kind of where it all went for me.
Nice. What about you, Grayson?
Yeah, I mean, I came of age. You know, I was a teenager in the early '90s. So I mean, I can remember kids passing a Nevermind tape around in school. That was actually the first CD I ever bought, back when they still came in those like white plastic things with like.
Oh yeah, the big boxes.
Yeah. So I mean, I remember getting that, and then and I listened to it a lot, and I remember In Bloom I was obsessed with, and then Black Hole Sun came out, and that just kind of blew my mind, and I started getting into all kinds of stuff, going back to like Pink Floyd and some of the stuff from way before I was born. And also my dad's been a musician his whole life, and he's actually still gigging up in Pennsylvania. Shout out to the Hip Replacements. So he would always be, I'd be getting dragged to like his band rehearsals. Like, he had like Steely Dan tribute band and stuff. And you know, as a 13-year-old, I didn't really appreciate it, but I was still absorbing all of that music. So through my dad, I got exposed to all kinds of stuff that I wouldn't have just picked up as like a teenager in school or whatever, you know. And then I just kind of progressively got into heavier and heavier music. So, you know, and then more progressive music. And then I sort of came back to more of that kind of rock from the early, I don't know. That's where it started though, you know, kind of 91 to 95 were like my formative years for music.
Yeah, good years for formation of music. So on this, you know, let's look at the artwork. I know that Patrick, you did the artwork for this, right?
I did, yeah.
Yes,
It was originally like a pastel painting that I did when we first got here after driving through the South to get to Tennessee. And, you know, I saw, it just was something that I came up with when I got home. It reminded me of one of the side roads going through Mississippi, honestly. And then I did that. And then I think about 3 months later, I did the backside, which was like the sunrise. And we were trying to figure out what the artwork would be for this. And I found the front, and I was like, this has got to be it. And then I was going through some paperwork, and I found the backside. It's been like 7 years since I did it, and I hadn't looked at it since I finished it. And I just thought, well, this is perfect for the backside of the vinyl. So just decided to go with that. I figured if I had a chance to put, I'm not really an artist, but if I get a chance to put my own art up there, I was like, why not? You know, it'll look cool on the sleeve.
Your art on your art.
Yeah. Plus, you don't have to pay the artist because it's you.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, yeah, but it's you know, it looks, you know, it looks like a, you know, like a very clear drawing, and yeah, so it's cool. And yeah, I think it will. So the back, you have a song in the back, just like Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness,
Yeah.
which has a song on the. I know because I painted that as a kid. I have it somewhere around here. That's the only painting that I did that looked good. So for you guys on this album, besides the 2 tracks that we talked about, like which one do you have like a favorite track of this album, and which one is your favorite and why?
Shit.
That's a hard decision.
Yeah, they're all your babies, but yeah.
For me, honestly, I think for me, my favorite to play right now, and the one that still moves me, like, is "Screaming Out Your Name." The last song,
The one that closes, yeah.
yeah, like that. When you get to see it live, I mean, I think we did a pretty good job of capturing the weight and the heaviness in that outro of that song in the studio. But when you're in the room and we get to that part, it elevates me, man. Like, I feel like I'm levitating on the stage. There's just something about it that takes over me. And I just really like that song.
Yeah. I would have to say Bloody Blues.
Yeah.
Bloody Blues is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's a real bluesy one. And what about you, Grayson?
I think my favorite's probably also "Screaming Out Your Name."
Fingertips is a real close second.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I like Finger, the third one. I thought that was a cool track.
Hello, Mom.
Yeah.
Hello, Mom.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, of course you gotta love them all, and I know people can pre-order now, but I was reading that you're gonna have like a special limited 25 max Mage editions. You have a that it's gonna go with a vinyl that you have from your locally Gotta Group records. So that's how those are it's gonna be exclusive with them, right?
Well, yeah, but we are gonna have, so it'll be 25 of the
Mhm.
wax mage presses, and those are one at a time. Like they make really cool designs with them. Then we're doing 25 that'll be called Rainbows in the Dark, which is also like a weird splatter mixed with black vinyl, so it kind of looks like a star blowing up inside the record. And then we're gonna,
And does it like shine in the dark?
no, yeah, it's kind of, it's like they put the color in with the black. So
Mhm.
when they press the vinyl, it pushes the color out, but on the edges it's still black, so it looks like the color is trying to come out through the black.
Oh yeah, I've seen those type of, yeah.
So
Nice.
and then we're gonna do, I think it's like 100 that are gonna be just standard weight and I can't think of it. It's like it's random colors. We're doing like 100 random colors at standard weight.
It says 125 random colors and
Yeah.
150 hi-fi black.
Yep.
Don't
And
worry, I got the information.
there you go. And that's it though. But that's it. I don't know when we'll press it again because this shit's expensive, man. But
It is. I know. I've gotten into vinyl, and I haven't. I bought a whole bunch of shit in after the pandemic. I started buying a lot of the 90s albums. It's funny. I had them in CD. Then I lost the CDs, and then I rebought them in vinyl. I'm like, why? I can't rebought
I
some
do the
stuff,
same.
but I haven't bought anything anymore because it is too expensive.
It's crazy.
And I like to eat. And
Yeah.
if I buy every album, I won't be able to eat. So, but it's cool to have. So, you guys, do you have when the albums coming out the 27th? Are you gonna have like an album release show? What's next for Nehoda?
Well, we're actually going out to California in October. My birthday is also a few days after the album releases. Like mine's October 1st. So
Oh, so we're both Libra.
we are both Libras.
Yes.
And so is Grayson. He's October 12th, 15th. Oh, it was 17th. I knew it was a 2 and a 5 in there.
I think he's still a Libra. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll be out in California and we're planning a show out there. I haven't ever been out there with the band, so we're really looking forward to playing at home where I grew up for a lot of my friends and family who haven't had a chance to see this. And then we're also doing a big show in Franklin, October 19th. And that's going to be a big one at the Mockingbird Theater. That'll be like the vinyl release show, even though it'll be out by then. That's the first like big show that we're kind of planning back home. And then we're hoping to start recording some new stuff here through the winter, and then kind of just keep doing.
Yeah, because no one wants to tour in the fucking winter over there. Except in Puerto Rico, it doesn't matter. You can tour the whole year because it's gonna be nice and.
Should we come to Puerto Rico this winter and play?
Well, in Puerto Rico in the winter, it's not a good idea because everyone's going to be partying. So yeah, it's not a good for concerts either. Because of that, everyone's gonna be like, no one's going to be paying attention. I think no, there should be no, like after like when you're in the holidays and you should have put out music or tour because it's gonna go in the void of like people are going to forget about it. Wait till January.
We typically kind of take off the tail end. We'll play locally for like, if there's a good party at the bar and they want us to play, but we typically have taken like November, December off to record and get everything ready and write and rehearse, and then slowly start getting back into it like after January. I mean, that's truly what happens. Everybody kind of shuts down for December and January, and then the music world kind of opens back up in February. People start moving around and planning stuff out. So we'll kind of shut down and enjoy the holidays.
2025
and 2025. Jesus, wow. That's terrifying. But
We're still processing the last 4 years.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's already, yeah, it will be crazy. So before I let you guys go, anything you like to say to the fans or maybe people who haven't checked out Nehoda to like why you should check out your band?
I mean, I would just say thank you for having us on, first of all. I
Yes.
appreciate
Oh,
it.
no, of course, man.
This for us, you know, and to everybody who's listening out there and watching, like, thank you. If you've listened to us before, thank you for the support. Thanks for, you know, being there for us in whatever way you've been there for us. And if you're new to the whole thing, like, hopefully you dig it enough to kind of join along on the ride and, you know, maybe you can root from the sidelines and see what we do as this progresses and hopefully it connects with you, makes you feel something, because it makes us feel something.
Coming to a city near you.
Yeah, coming to a city near you. 2025.
Yeah, 20 big things for Nehoda in 2025. So I first I want to thank you guys, you know, for this. We almost this interview has been, we almost had it like 2 weeks ago, but I
Yeah.
had to cancel because there was a tropical storm coming my way. So thank you guys for, you know, being flexible. It wasn't my fault. I couldn't control it. I couldn't.
I'm
So
glad
it was
everything.
yeah, no, like, yeah. So the good thing is that we were able to connect and I had time to listen to the album, like, because I've been listening to it. So I would recommend this, like people who like, obviously, that grungy blues sound. The Hoda has that sound for you guys. So if you want to hear some like rock without like any like electronics or like, you know, just three guys playing their instruments, give Nehoda a chance. So so until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.